Come take a trip in my airship. Come take a sail among the stars. Come have a ride around Venus. Come have a spin around Mars. No one to work while we're busy. No one to see while we school. Come take a trip in my airship and we'll visit the man in the moon.
Hello and welcome to another Airship 27 podcast. This is number 101, and I am your co-host, Chief Engineer Rob Davis, here alongside my friend and cohort in crime, Chief Engineer Ron Fortier. Say hello, Ron.
I'm Captain Ron Fortier. We got one chief engineer already.
Did I say? Oh man, I have Captain Ron.
This is still new to the two of us, as I'm sure all you are well aware. For the last few years doing the show, we did it via Skype. But earlier this year, Skype went bye-bye. All right.
Yeah.
Whereas both Rob and I are somewhat familiar with StreamYard, doing the Silverline Comic podcast. Rob does the Wednesday Wham. I do the Tuesday night podcast. We both thought, well, let's give this a shot. And so Rob is getting to be familiar with recording and putting it on. So bear with us if there's any little glitches. There's a learning curve here.
Yeah. With us being on those podcasts, we're just guests there. We don't have to push any buttons or do anything. We just sit there and talk our heads off. But here, I got to figure out which buttons to push and all this stuff. So yeah, it's a little odd. But yeah, we're back. It's number 101.
Yep.
So
hey, I don't want to skip that good stuff. Let you again take the mic and tell folks the happy occasions with the Davis family.
Well, yeah, everyone sends me congratulations, but all I did was I've just been the pawpaw. I've been the grandpa here. All the work was done by my daughter and her husband. So just this last week, a few days ago, my daughter and son-in-law had their first child, Ophelia Marie Piper. She was 7 pounds. I forget whether it was 2 or 3 ounces, 19 inches long, and she has a screech. If you've seen the Superman movie and Hawk Girl and her screech, Ophelia's got that screech down pat. So when she's hungry, you know it. When she's upset, you know it. But anyway, it's brought into the world this week, and we're happy to have her here. They're home and doing just great right now.
That is just awesome. But of course, with a screech like that, you better know that Connor and Rachel can get ready for some middle of the night rude awakenings.
Yeah, it's going to be well, and this is a whole new thing for them. Of course, being uncles and aunts, that's a whole different deal from actually having your own little in the house. So you can't just hand it off when it becomes. It comes to the end of the day. You got to take care of it 24/7. So yeah, it's going to be a whole new world for them. But they knew that going in, and they seem pretty happy with her. And a nice little sideline. We think she's going to have red hair like Rachel had. So actually a little deeper red. So we're going to have a true full-fledged ginger in the family. Rachel had reddish hair. But looks like Ophelia's got even darker red hair. So that's going to be fun.
And I keep every time you say that name, I absolutely love that name, which obviously again is because of Rachel's interest and passion in theater from high school on to teaching it. So
and Connor went for it as well. Her husband did, because I think it's kind of an old-fashioned name, and it has a really nice feel to it. So I mean, they went through several other names, and they went, nah, I don't care for that. But when Ophelia came up, that one fit. And we're still trying to figure out what we're going to call her. I jokingly called her Opie because it's Ophelia Piper. So, but we'll see if that fits. But my wife is calling her Little O. So it's I really like that one. So that one will be. I think that one will stick. But we'll see.
Right. Yeah. All right. Hey, look. that great news and putting a smile on all the faces of our loyal airmen, let's now zap them with this month's first bad joke.
You asked for this. All right. Father O'Malley was famously a man of few words, popular with his parish for his very short homilies. One afternoon in the rectory, he answered the phone. A phone on the other end asked, "Hello, is this Father O'Malley?" "It is." "This is the IRS. Can you help us?" "I can." "Do you know a Ted Houlihan?" "I do." "Is he a member of your congregation?" "He is." "Did he donate $10,000 to the church?" "He will."
That is bad. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, so wait till you hear mine at the end of the show, because ironically, there's a little bit of a connection between both our jokes, which you'll pick up on when we get to it. All right. But that's a beaut. I like that. That is really fun.
Yeah, it's a little shorter than the ones I usually come up with, but it was so good. I just had to go.
It's a zinger. It's a typical great, catch you off guard kind of thing. All right, because
those are the best.
I'm like, okay, so he's finished it. Then I went, oh yeah, okay, now I get it. It drops like a ton of bricks. Way to go! All right, Rob. All right, so what I've got listed here on our agenda is since we did episode 100. We have released 4 new titles.
4 new titles, yep.
Right. And I'll get us going, as you just wrapped up with the bad joke. Number 1, released since our last show. First, it was Dan Fowler G-Man, Volume 5. This features a novel-length adventure and a bonus short story by Fred Adams Jr., with interior illustrations by Sam Salas, and a great cover by Michael Youngblood. All right.
Before that, we had The Masked Rider, Wild West Stories, Volume 4. And it has stories by John Rose, Alan Porter, Teal James Glenn, and George Takis. It also has a cover by Shannon Hall.
Nice book. Great book. All right, then we were back out at sea with Sinbad, The New Voyages, Volume 8 already, featuring stories by Eric Franklin, Carson Demmons, and Terry, please forgive me, Terry Wajisoria. Fingers crossed.
I think that's right. Yeah, that looks right.
And J. Walt Lane, with interior illustrations by Gary Cotto and a great cover by Michael Youngblood. And finally,
and rounding out the 4 is The Adventures of Doc Atlas, Volume 2. This is by Michael Black and Ray Lovato. It reprints 4 early Doc Atlas adventures with all new art to include a cover and interior illustrations by Rob Davis.
That guy right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Which is getting a lot. I'm seeing a lot of great comments on that cover, Rob. So super job on that. So yeah, we did get 4 books out, and as we segue into what's coming next, I want to maybe rehash an old topic that's been on a lot of people's minds since we mentioned it, I think last year, whatever. Excuse me, about how we were going to be downsizing.
Yeah. There's been a lot of confusion about that, I think, and some people think we're completely quitting, and we're not. We are easing back, and go ahead.
And you just stated it perfectly. One of our regular writers just wrote me the other day, and with the idea that he had promised me a short story, wrote to say he was too busy to get it done. And whereas we were going to be shut down next year, not receiving anything else, blah, blah, blah. And I went, whoa. We're not shutting down. Yep. Downsizing is a totally different thing, all right?
Yeah.
This was predicated by the fact that as time went on, we kept accumulating manuscripts. whether short stories or full-length feature novels, all right? And going after artists to get these books in production, for Rob to get them done, put up in Amazon, was just way time-consuming, and we were gradually falling behind with all the other responsibilities we have in life, going to conventions and other things. That being the case, and the reality that neither of us is getting younger, we figured maybe it's time to trim the workload. So the initial statements that we made was that come 2026, we are not going to be receiving, we're not receiving new submissions.
Right.
Okay. Now let's add to that, quantitate that. What we will be doing is finishing up the backlog of what I'm telling you about. And believe me, we have a good dozen to 15 book projects that we have to tackle. Some of them we won't this year. It just won't happen. We have that much material. So next year will be dedicated to cleaning up the inventory of scripts for all our writers out there who have been waiting with so much patience, and we're extremely grateful. But you will see all your stories get published and put out there. Okay.
It'll just take a while.
Right. So that's 2026. Okay. What happens beyond 2026? What happens with 2027? All right. Well, again, Rob and I put our heads together, all right? And we get to talking about the fact that anthologies are much more labor intensive than full-length novels.
Yep.
Okay. So come 2027, we'll definitely let all of you know that, hey, we've hopefully cleaned up the inventory. And if any of you out there has a novel you'd like us to look at, feel free to write me a letter of inquiry and we'll talk about it. All right. Whereas, are we getting rid of all anthologies? Heck no, because there's several that all of you have made extremely successful and continue to do that. The top of that list, Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. It's not going anywhere.
Nope.
In fact, as we get into what's coming next, you'll see what I mean by that. All right. And then we've got Bass Reeves, Frontier Lawman, which, again, every time we put out a new volume, it really sells through the roof.
Yeah, it does.
We're going to keep doing Bass Reeves Westerns. Done deal. All right. And finally, what I consider the third best-selling anthologies that our fans absolutely love is Mystery Men and Women, because it's a showcase. And we never know from one volume to the other what kind of characters are going to be making their public debut. And believe me, some of them are weird.
Yeah,
And-
in some ways, that's our flagship title.
Right.
Mystery Men and Women is. It has become that because it's where we introduce new characters that sometimes get their own series, either of novels or their own anthology series. So I can still see that one still coming out from us easily. Yeah.
Okay. Now, then again, there are certain writers and who have really helped make Airship 27 what it is. And we've had individual private discussions with them. And they know very well some of these have series that they've been writing with us and will continue to do so. All right. Okay. Done deal. Now, does this mean we're never ever going to publish? Question. What happens if 2026 is over and you've still got 5, 6, 8, 9 short stories that haven't been published? Well, during our last episode, Rob came up with what I thought was a great idea, and I still do. All right. Basically, what we're going to try to do, if we end up with an overflow of short stories that we couldn't get out, certain anthologies, for whatever reason, we didn't fill this anthology, we didn't fill that anthology. So say I've got a Masked Rider story, all right, or I've got a Secret Agent X story, or I've got a Ravenwood, stepson of mystery story. I couldn't fill the anthologies that we'd hoped to do. Guess what? We're going to put those all in a volume called Airship 27 Adventures.
Yep.
And that's how we'll clear the inventory, but at the same time, be creating a brand new title, which will really be reflective of a lot of the things that Airship 27 has done and premiered during the course of our history.
Yep.
So there you go. And it could, look, Airship Adventures ends up being a whopping success. Then we may have an outlet for those short stories you people want to send us. we'll see. Okay.
Yeah, because it'll take anything. Unlike Mystery Men and Women, which kind of goes for a certain type. This could be anything. It could have a Western. It could have it could have science fiction. It could have all sorts of things in it that were maybe slated for some other book, or somebody comes at us with a brand new one and we go, oh, that won't fit in Mystery Men, but it might fit here, so we could put it in there.
So we're by no means shutting the door, folks. Okay, we're going to be around for a while. Yeah,
we're just getting ready to buy another 100 Isbans. Now, would we do that if we were going to shut the doors? No, we wouldn't spend the money on a whole bunch of new Isbans, but more than we would need for the next year. So yeah, we're planning to be around for a while. And this brings me to a subject that also it kind of ties into this, but it's going to look. Here's what's happening. We've talked about this before. Windy City Pulp and Paper show this next spring coincides with the same weekend that with my local show, the Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City. So I had to choose which one to go to. Well, the first time this happened, I decided to go to Windy City, and I said, well, if this ever happens again, then I will have to go to Planet Comic-Con. Well, unfortunately, this coincides with our announcement that we're cutting back. So it may look like we're getting completely out of things, and that's not what's happening. What's happening is we cannot. I'm the one who takes all the
inventory, the books,
all the inventory that we sell at the show. I'm the one that packs that in a car and drives it to Chicago. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that this next year. So we won't have a table. We won't be there, and it hopefully they will miss us.
We'll miss you guys, that's for sure.
But it's not because we're going out of business.
No.
It's because we have a conflict, and I just can't make it.
Right.
So I'm looking at. I want to do the next year, and yeah, I have some other ideas, but that's a whole other thing.
Right. So as ever, Pulp Fest is next month down in Pittsburgh, and we wish all our friends and colleagues a great show. Obviously, mm-hmm. All right. And we're going to do the same thing for Windy City next year, even though, like I said, we can't be there next year.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you're listening to this podcast, lock that in someplace, keep it in mind. And if you end up in Windy City and Ron and Rob aren't there, all right, please don't let wildfires get started. All right. Just put the boss.
I am going to put together a flyer to send to them to put on the freebie table that will kind of explain this. And I have I've had this idea for years to try and put together an online shop to sell our back inventory. And I'm thinking maybe that this might be the time to put that together and then have then kind of announce and start that week or so before Windy City. So if people want to buy books from us, they can at a discount. So directly from me, I will pack them up and send them off, and they'll be from our inventory. So or just whatever they need, but it'll
great
be
idea. Yeah, so, great idea. I would love to see that.
That's still in here. Yeah. I haven't completely worked out how that's all going to work yet. Okay. But that's an idea that I've come up with so we have at least some sort of presence in the world of pulp the week of Windy City, even though we can't be there. But I'm going to send a flyer and at least tell everybody why we're not there, and maybe offer a discount to buy books from an online store that we have. But
just so I don't know. Just so all of you know, all right, the Pulp Factory Awards will continue. Our schedule for the Friday night of the con, and our two amazing, amigos, Jonathan Sweet, who controls the actual voting and getting the awards, all right, with the help of Brian K. Morris, have both agreed to put on the presentation of the Pulp Factory Awards and next year's Pulp Windy City Paper and Pulp show. So again, keep the operation running as smoothly as we can. So There you go.
But yeah, I thought I'd bring that up while we were on that whole topic of us shutting down. We're not shutting down, and we're we wish we could go to Windy City next year, but we can't because of a conflict.
Yeah.
It's not because we're shutting down. So unfortunately it coincides. So that may be how people see it, but that's not what's happening. So anyway.
All right. So now, per this topic, what do we have to look forward to coming next from Airship 27? And man, this is a fun one this time, Rob. We've got some really exciting new titles coming your way, starting with Beyond 30, the long-forgotten novel by the master of adventure, Edgar Rice Burroughs, which Rob is now involved with doing the interior illustrations, assembling it, designing it, and ultimately, once he has those interiors done and we get a cover on it, this thing's going to be our next release. Done deal. Okay. All right. Now, once that's finished and Rob's freed up from book production, we're jumping on to another Sherlock Holmes project. Only this isn't consulting detective, all right? This is another collection of short stories by the incredible I.A. Watson, all right? I mean, I think Watson has probably written more pastiches of Sherlock Holmes and Watson than any other current writer working today. All right. I just saw on Facebook the other day, Will Murray, somebody made a claim about Will. All right. And Will's been lately writing some Sherlock Holmes the last few years, a thing called The Wild Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah. So they said he's got, since he's written like about 30 or 40, he's almost got more Sherlock Holmes stories than Arthur Conan Doyle. And I read that and went, you know what? I'd like to count them all one by one up against Ian. Okay. I think Ian Watson is probably the leaderboard right now.
Well, and he's written for other folks besides us with the Sherlock Holmes stories. So, I mean, that's where
we know of 20. All right. Yeah. Then we have the 3 collections that each have at least 7, 8 stories in them. Right. This is the 3rd collection we're doing with Ian. All right. And this thing is called, here we go. Here we go. And Ian's going to shoot me if I get this. The Paralipomena. The Paralipomena.
Yeah.
It's in the dictionary. You can find it. Oh, crazy. Of Sherlock Holmes. All right. So, I mean, hey, that's that again. Ian doing it. I mean, Rob's going to, give us that's
next on the Airship 27.
Right. And Rob's, as he's done all the others, going to give us the illustrations for the book's interior. But we've got a new artist for Airship 27 that we hooked up with at Windy City. What was it? Jack? Was his first name Jack?
I don't know. I call him Doc because he's a doctor.
Okay. All right. And okay. I think it's John, but I believe his last name is Waltz. But it's Waeltz, Waltz. All right.
Yeah,
and he's a painter, and he showed us some of his work.
Self-taught painter, which is amazing.
He had done 2 Sherlock Holmes pieces, and Rob and I immediately on the spot says, "Hey, can we use one of those as our cover?" And he graciously gave us that permission. So it will be the cover on this new Ian Watson collection. Excited about that.
Yeah.
Then, as ever, Michael Housel's new Persona novel is still in production with Aidan Belcher, Mike Belcher's son, doing the interior illustrations. And we've already got a cover lined up by Michael Youngblood, which is really awesome. All right. And then, most likely after that, it will be another issue of Mystery Men and Women, which, again, trying to get this popular stuff out and clean up the backlog. After that, definitely after that Mystery Men and Women volume, we're going to release another Adventures of Radio Rita. And again, Michael Youngblood jumped in and has already given us a cover, which I absolutely love. So as you can see, there is no dirge of material for us to keep pumping out. And we've got a lot of good stuff coming your way.
Okay. And you don't have this on here, but there's also something that's kind of tangential to what we do, the Brother Bones graphic novel that's coming along that I'm doing a what is it, a 6-pager or 8-page? It's a 6-page.
Yeah, you're doing a 6-page backup But if any, like, I got to do this. I have got to do this.
Yeah, I thought I'd mention that since Brother Bones is an Airship 27 creation.
These are the first 30 pages of the Brother Bones graphic novel as illustrated by Joe Arnold, and our good buddy Mike Belcher just recently lettered these pages. All right. So issue number 1, it's the entire graphic novel script goes, I don't know, about 120, 130 pages. Joe's idea for crowdfunding is that we're going to release it in 3 chapters. The first will be 30 pages long with the primary story. And then at the back of each issue will be a bonus, Brother Bones story. And happily, I wrote one and sent it off to Rob, see if he'd be all interested. And he totally, you're knocking it out of the ballpark. Both Joe and I were ecstatic.
He's a fun character. I mean, I'm sure he's fun to write and he's fun to draw. And yeah he's just,
yeah. And so
his world is a really interesting place to visit.
I've been dealing with that on Undead Adventure for a while now. But yeah, this is going to be a really special comic because most of his adventures have been in prose and collections and novels and whatever. And we've done several short strips over the years. We even have a comic book from your Redbud Studio, 48-page one-shot.
Bullets of Jade, I think it's called.
Right, that's exactly what it is, right. So the opportunity, I mean, Joe came to me about this. This happened like 2 years ago or whatever. We were in Denver at the Rocky Mountain Con and sitting across from each other. And there he is doing sketches. And he looks over to me. He goes, "Hey, Ron." He goes, "What do you got going?" And Joe had done one of those little short Brother Bones pieces years ago. And I said, well, I've still got a huge Brother Bones origin graphic novel collecting dust in my files. And the last thing, I'm expecting him to ask me another question about this or that or whatever. No, he goes, "Can I do it?" Wow. I said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Please don't jerk me along with this." I mean, he goes, "Oh, no.
How many artists have you gone through on this book? I mean, it's been years since you started.
No, but it's again, we're looking at the shorter pieces. All right. So Joe had done a 5-page story, which appeared in, I think, our, Airship 27 pulp stories. What's the title?
All-Star Pulp?
All-Star Pulp Stories. Right. So we use that there. Okay. And then Teague Lane Ben, who did the role-playing game from Cape Noir, that huge, hardback role-playing game based on the Brother Bones stories, wanted a story. I gave him a short script, and he did one of those. All right. So then came, like I said, the 48-page one-shot. So over the years, we've had multiple different, pencilers and artists do sketches of Brother Bones. Some of them phenomenal. I have hanging up on my wall an actual painting of Brother Bones done by Tom Floyd, a dear friend of both of us, all right? And he did that as part of a contest. I think you'll recall you were part of that contest as well. Everybody was submitting stuff. And this was with another creator and another project. This was online when I was initially writing the stories. And voter reaction was Tom knocked it out of the ballpark. So he won. Okay. Well, like 4 or 5 months later, I find out that the new Tarzan convention, which is called the Dum Dum, and it goes all over the country every year, was going to be in Fort Collins. And we weren't even living here at that time. We were coming out to visit. And I realized that, and I told Valerie, I says, Dum Dum's going to be going on in Fort Collins that week we're there. So she, well, tell Alan, her son. She says, "I'm sure he'll take you down to the con. I'm sure you'd have a hoot, going to see that and everything." So sure enough, I got a couple of tickets ahead of time. Vacation time came. We came out here to Fort Collins, and we went to where the con was being held. And Tom was one of the guests. So I walk up to where his table is, and he reaches down and he pulls out the canvas. And, I said, hard stock, right? But it's that painting, right? And I mean, to see it up close like that, all right? And he goes, "It's yours." No lie, Rob. No, he just gave it to me. I said, "Tom, what do you want for it?" I said, "This thing is gorgeous. he hit the heart of what this character was all about in that painting. All right. I mean, it's taken from an angle. He's coming into some kind of room, and there's a shadow up on the wall behind him. And the shadow shows his hat and his guns and everything else. It is gripping. It's such a great. He said it's yours. I want you to have it.
Okay.
Valerie didn't waste any time taking it down to some art store. We got it framed, whatever, and it's been sitting up on my wall ever since we moved out here. So, anyways, but yeah, so going around with that, a little over 2 years ago, I wrote the latest entry into the whole saga, which was the prequel, Cape Noir. All right, the Beauty and the Beast story. So that's pretty much what I've got down for what's been done. Again, once we get the graphic novel out, we'll see. I mean, there's already been 2 film companies, not one, but 2 film companies, albeit independent little production people, who've wanted to take this character and put it on the screen. So, hey, I know I can dream. I can, we get the individual issues out, crowdfunding 1, 2, and 3. Then obviously the main plan is to collect it as a graphic novel. With all the bonus stuff and everything else. And hey, once I start, doing cons and taking this with me and whatever, who knows? If somebody can find it and see it online as we promote it, it could still happen.
It should happen. Well, I mean, he's perfect for the silver screen. I think he'd be a lot of fun. So,
and here's the thing: the thing with and why Joe Arnold ends up being, which surprised me, all right. But Joe Arnold, just like yourself, Joe gets the character. He understands him. He loves the mashup between an old-fashioned Universal horror movie and a Warner Brothers gangster movie. And you put those 2 together. That's the world of Brother Bones and Cape Noir.
That's the mashup. Right? Yep.
Right. Okay. So in doing the pencils, we had talked a little bit about coloring. And he goes, no. He said, I want to keep that atmosphere. He said, let me grayscale it and see what you think. Well, he sold me. All I had to do was see 2 or 3 pages of it grayscaled, and it was much like what you did with Daughter Dracula.
Yeah, right? I was going to say that's. I went for the Universal Monsters feel with that, doing the gray tones,
and that's exactly
less expensive to print it that way. But that that's a nice side benefit. But yeah,
and that's how you see it. You understand it and you get it. It's there it is. So now, like I said, he has 40 pages already finished, completed, and done. Mike Belcher's, like I said, lettered 33 pages. So pretty much we have the first installment finished. All we're going to need is your wrap up on the short bonus story, which will be in the back.
Yeah, and the 2 latest page is on the drawing board at the moment.
Right. So we're going to have 2 covers. We're going to offer people 2 covers. Again, Rob's been way generous in offering to do one of the alternate covers, and Joe's going to do the other cover. And so the sooner this thing is wrapped up, he doesn't want to waste any time. He wants to get it out still, another month or whatever in the summer.
Yeah, and he's going to do it Kickstarter style. Yeah,
he's going to Kickstarter.
Crowdfunding is the general term. But yeah, that seems to be the wave of independent comics now. Is that a lot of people are doing it that way, and it works for some and doesn't work for others. But I can't see this not doing really well.
No, I hopefully, that he's been around for almost 20 years now, for Pete's sake. He's got some recognition value of some of the things that I've done and produced. So we will see, fingers crossed. All right.
Yep.
Okay. And now going on with all this, I'm going to make this real brief, but I've had so many people write and wish me well with what's going on with my post mastectomy treatments. I'm in the middle of radiation treatment at the local cancer center here in Fort Collins. And the setup was I was to have 6 weeks of radiation treatments, one a day during the week with Saturdays and Sundays off. And believe it or not, blink your eyes, tomorrow is the end of week 3. I am halfway there already. All right. So another 3 weeks, those will be done. Hopefully, again, it's a preventative kind of thing with the radiation basically cleans out the area They're sure there's no more cancer cells anywhere.
Are they
all right?
focusing it on that
Yeah.
spot, or is
They're
it
focusing it where the mastectomy was and where the lymph nodes were under the arm.
right? Okay.
Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I tell you, people who work in this field, Rob, the therapists, the nurses, the doctors, the true heroes here, the salt of the earth. Okay, they're just great people. They're outgoing. They get personal with you. They want you to be comfortable. They want everything to go right. All right, they bend over backwards, and then in the process, I go in there every morning. Happily, most of my treatments have been first thing in the morning. And I get there and I'm in a waiting room waiting for somebody to come and get me for the treatment. And I'm with other cancer patients. And we all start sharing our stories and telling our little, this and that. And as is typical of most clinics like this, when you walk into the lobby, there's a bronze gong with a thing, all right? So the day you finish your last treatment, all the nurses, the staff, all gather around. And you get to hit the gong.
Mm-hmm.
So in a little over 3 weeks, that'll be my turn. I am really looking forward.
We defeated the monster. Yeah, that's what the gong is for. Yeah.
Yeah.
We defeated the monster. Yeah.
So hey, I'm doing okay. And again, I want to thank everybody who's still writing me and wishing me luck and keeping me in their prayers. It means the whole world to me. It truly does. All right.
Okay.
And with that,
I have one more issue.
Do it.
Just recently, I got a fan question or a request via Facebook Messenger, and it says I got this fan request via Facebook Messenger. Hey Rob, with Will Murray coming out with his new Secret Agent X book, maybe it would be a cool idea to re-release the first 3 Airship 27 books of Secret Agent X in paperback again. Currently, they are in ebook and audio only. You could brand it with your return to print label like you did with Jim Anthony series and others. Anyway, just a thought. So, and I answered him. I said, I think this is a great idea. I'll be looking into putting these together in the reprint format with a lower page count and a lower price. I'll fit these in between the other projects on the table as I can. Look for announcements on the Airship 27 Facebook page and our airship27hangar.com page, and I'll post those there. But yeah.
Awesome.
That we're just buying a bunch of new ISBNs, so that's another way for us to use those and get those 3 books back into print, so our fans can get a hold of them. I mean, I would like to have everything that we've done back out in print again, but it takes time to do these. I have to, especially the older books. I have to dig into those, and I change them just a little bit so the page count's a little lower.
Right.
So the price that we pay for them is less. But that takes a little bit of work. So it takes a little time to get them put together, and then make sure everything lines back up again. It's a little tedious work.
No, but yeah,
But anyway.
you did such a great job with the others, the Jim Anthony books and whatever.
Well,
And
I've learned a lot in the 20 years we've been doing this. I know where corners can be cut, and yet still have a quality product. So
Secret Agent X, such a great character.
well, he's as you know, he's one of my favorites that we publish. So yeah.
Okay.
So I will get those up, and again, watch the Facebook page, Airship 27 Facebook page, and our website, airship27hangar.com, and I'll announce when those are starting to come out there. All right.
Yeah. Excellent.
And now I'm done.
All right. It's my turn.
Oh, yeah.
Here we
I put it
go.
up as long as I could, folks.
All right. So it's a Friday night in a small little Irish pub. 2 guys are sitting at the bar, down in Guinnesses, one after the other. Boom, boom, boom. But the night wears on till finally one of them looks at the guy sitting across from him next to him, right? And says, "Hey, mate, what's your name?" The other looks at him and says, "My name is Mike Kelly." First guy goes, "It is? My name's Sean Kelly." The other guy goes, "Where you from?" "Limerick." "Me too." "Where'd you go to school?" "St. Mary's." Me too. Did you have Father Kavanaugh? Oh, yeah, I had Father Kavanaugh. Meanwhile, the bartender cleaning glasses turns around and looks at the waitress and says, "It's going to be a long night. The Kelly twins are drunk again."
Yeah, that's another one that just whoop.
Oh. There's still some zingers out there, folks.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
Oh,
All
there
right.
you go.
All right. Well, again, we've taken almost an hour away from your time, folks, and we truly appreciate you stopping by and enjoying this time with us. And hopefully we get these books out that we're talking about, and maybe in another month, 2 months, we'll have episode 102 coming your way. But until then, amigo, sign us out.
All right. This is Chief Engineer, not Captain, Chief Engineer Rob Davis signing off.
And of course, Captain Ron says, down ship.